That same day, two other disciples, not of the 11, are travelling the 7 miles from Jerusalem to Emmaus. As they walk along, they talk back and forth about all that had transpired during the recent days. While they're talking, discussing and conversing, Jesus catches up with them and begins walking with them. But for some reason, they don't recognise him. You two seem deeply engrossed in conversation. What are you talking about as you walk down this road? They stopped, looking sad. One of them, Cleopas was his name, spoke up. You must be the only visitor in Jerusalem who hasn't heard what's been going on over the last few days. Jesus asked them, "What are you talking about?" As they walked on, the two disciples responded and explained, "It's all about the man named Jesus of Nazareth. He was a mighty prophet who did amazing miracles and preached powerful messages in the sight of God and everyone around. Our chief priests and authorities handed him over to be executed, crucified in fact. We had been hoping that he was the one, the one who would liberate all Israel and bring God's promises. Anyway, on top of all this, just this morning, the third day after the execution, some women in our group really shocked us. They went to the tomb early this morning, but they didn't see his body anywhere. Then they came back and told us they did see something, a vision of heavenly messengers, and these messengers said that Jesus was alive. Some people in our group went to the tomb to check it out, and just as the women had said, it was empty. But they didn't see Jesus." Jesus retorted to them, "Come on, men. Why are you being so foolish? Why are your hearts so sluggish when it comes to believing what the prophets have been saying all along? Didn't it have to be this way? Didn't the Anointed One have to experience these sufferings in order to come into his glory?" Then he begins with Moses and continues prophet by prophet, explaining the meaning of the Hebrew scriptures, showing how they were talking about the very things that had happened to Jesus. Now, about this time, they were reaching their destination. Jesus keeps walking ahead, as if he had no plans to stop there, but they convince him to join them. "Please, be our guest. It's getting late, and soon it'll be too dark to walk." So, Jesus accompanies them into their home. When they sit down at the table for dinner, he takes the bread in his hands, gives thanks, and breaks it. At the instant, two things happen simultaneously. Their eyes are suddenly opened to recognize him, and he instantly vanishes, just disappears before their eyes. The disciples turn to each other. "Amazing! Weren't our hearts on fire within us while he was talking to us on the road? Didn't you feel it all coming clear as he explained the meaning of the Hebrew scriptures?" They get up immediately and rush back to Jerusalem, all 7 miles. Back in Jerusalem, they find the 11 gathered, the 11 along with a number of others. Before Cleopas and their companion can tell their story, the others have their own story to tell. "The Lord is risen. It's true. He appeared to Simon." Then the two men report their own experience, their long conversation along the road, and then their moment of realization and recognition when he broke bread.